Welcome to this week of For Horsemen. This is Lewis Young, and I am Crazy Horse. So, Mr. Young, what is this week of For Horsemen?
This week of Four Horsemen is our weekly show to discuss events, sales, promotions, and other nerdy topics.
Yes, and before we get on with our giveaway, Lewis, what do you and Mel Gibson have in common?
How did you find out? I don't know.
You are both forever young.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're just setting the bar high tonight, folks. All right, we are doing a giveaway. We're going to give away an entire set of free Comic Book Day books, which you can pick up this Saturday in the store. To win, you need to be the first caller. When can you call in? After both of us have said the word EWOK. Call in. We'll answer you live on the air, and you can come pick up your books on Saturday. So it's a kind of a race to see who will say it first.
I like that.
And then who will say it second.
Interestingly enough.
And will we forget?
Do they have the number on screen or
304-581-4461. We'll have it on the screen later in the show as well.
So many prank calls now.
So many prank calls. Oh, this was a mistake. Mistake. All right, moving on to comics. First discussion of the evening. We have the new issue of The Walking Dead. And regardless if you like The Walking Dead or dislike The Walking Dead, why does Eugene have Michonne's sword? Speculate. Give me a reason.
He could have borrowed it, got to trim his nails. Who knows?
Maybe he needed to trim up his ponytail. Maybe. Well, I can't speculate because I read this book earlier and I know why.
I haven't yet, so I'm keeping it to myself.
Yeah, it's definitely want to check this one out. But moving on, we have Star Trek The Next Generation Through the Mirror. And this is a sequel to the beloved book Star Trek TNG Broken Mirror, which deals with the next gen crew in the Mirror universe, which that book originally started as a free Comic Book Day book.
So we're coming full circle.
Yes, it's coming full circle around, and just like Picard's head, and just like the saucer section on the Enterprise, just like that. And Alex wants us to move on. So what is this, Lewis?
This is the new DC Comics, DC Nation, number 0.
Yeah, so this is like a full circle. This is like a compilation of different DC titles. It's 3 different. There's a Batman story, a Superman story, and a Joker story.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that the Superman story is called Office Space.
Oh, which is one of my favorite movies.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Which I didn't understand truly until recently because I just started working in an office, and now I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's all true.
Someone's looking for his stapler.
Yeah. I wonder.
That's going to be a good book.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Moving on to Marvel, we have a different kind of book. This is You Are Deadpool, which is basically a build-your-own adventure story where you remember those old chapter books where it's like, okay, you can go into the forest or go to the lake, and if you go to the forest, go to page 83. If you go to the lake, go to page 97. It's like that, except you're Deadpool and you're making your own adventure. There's 5 issues and it's coming up weekly. First issue comes out this week.
I'll be completely honest with you. This one snuck up on me, and I'm so jazzed about it. The variants are brilliant, but this is the normal cover, and I was flicking through it immediately. It's hilarious. It's such a great concept. I don't know why they haven't done it sooner.
Yeah, I'm really surprised because it seems super obvious, but they just haven't done it yet.
No, it's brilliant. I love it.
Leave it to Deadpool. All right, and also from Marvel, we have a new run of the Avengers that begins this week, just in time to celebrate Infinity War. And they're starting off, their first big bad guys are going to be the Celestials. You remember which MCU film features a Celestial as the bad guy? His name?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Is it Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
It is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 starring Kurt Russell, yes. So if you enjoyed that movie, that is going to be the class of enemy that the Avengers are facing in their first story arc of this brand new Avenger run.
I had no idea that there was an Infinity War movie.
Moving on. We have the newest issue of Star Wars. This is issue number 47, still dealing with the Mon Cala rebellion. You see Han Solo in a submarine.
I'm excited about this one as well.
It's a solo marine.
It's bad.
You wanted to talk to us about something?
Is it the staff picks of the week?
It is your staff pick. It's your choice since you're here. 50% more hair in this episode.
50% more hair in this episode. Is that because mine's receding?
Well, mine is too, so I can't really say much.
We are going with, it's a slow burn for this one. I'm embarrassed it took me this long to get it. I walked in on my wife watching the Santa Clarita Diet this week. Completely out of, I had no idea what it was about. And it was a scene in season 2 over apple danishes, which doesn't ruin anything. If you've watched it, you know the scene I'm talking about. And I was howling with laughter with Timothy Olyphant, who I realised I hadn't seen him in anything other than Hitman. So him with hair is revelatory for me. But this is some of the funniest programming Netflix has put out recently. It's brilliantly shot, brilliantly written. I'm the one from England.
You guys invented the language.
I know, it's bad.
We're supposed to butcher it.
But the acting alone is his facial expressions slay me. He doesn't have to say anything, and it's all up here. It's such a great show, and I really recommend everyone watch it. It's about a husband and wife. The wife inexplicably wakes up with zombie symptoms, and it's sort of how they deal with it living in like middle class California.
The setting reminds me a little bit of Weeds.
Yeah, it feels a bit like that, but glossier. But also, like it can make fun of itself. No, yeah, Weeds. I know, I get that reference, but it feels it's just as heavy when it needs to be heavy, but it's so much funnier. Like Weeds, I felt it could never figure itself out. It was good to begin with, and it just sort of.
I wasn't really a fan of that show. It reminds me, like, especially like the opening song for Weed, where it's like, oh, everybody lives in the same house, and it's like Drew Barrymore lives in that neighborhood.
That's kind of what I think. Yeah, that's what they're getting at. Is everyone lives these really boring lives, and suddenly they have something that isn't your usual first world problem. Right. Oh, it slays me. I shouldn't find it as funny as I do, but I do. It's shameless, but I love it.
I actually walked in on my wife watching this as well recently, but I haven't started it yet. But it looks good. But speaking of funny, we're moving on to the Versus series, where last week Krampus defeated Pinkie Pie. He kidnapped her, took her back to her lair, and she became my little hostage. So she is off the bracket. There was some debate. We talked on the show last week that Krampus is only supposed to harm bad children, and if Pinkie Pie behaves, then she should be able to beat him in theory. But I guess she was a bad.
I was going to say, we're not going to talk about promoting bronies and that being a bad enough thing as it is.
I disagree. I think as long as you're not hurting anybody, you can like whatever you want to like. But anyways, Pinkie Pie's bye-bye. Krampus, see you in round 2. Who was our comment winner, and what was their... Who was our comment winner from last week?
It was AJ Clark, with the comment he would have to vote for Krampus, or they would have to vote for Krampus, because Ron Davis is the best Christmas character ever.
Which is actually a meta joke. Episodes and episodes ago, I don't even remember the circumstances, but we were talking about Krampus, and we made the joke that Ron was Grampus.
He is Grampus.
He is Grampus. I don't even remember the origin of that one.
Running
how he's listed on my phone.
Oh, that's how he's listed on Alex's phone. Okay. All right, so moving on. This week, we have Nicol Bolas, the Elder Dragon, versus Sinestro of the Green Lantern lore. It doesn't look good for Sinestro. Basically, everybody is voting for Nicol Bolas here. Now, I know you're not super familiar with magic lore.
No.
He is basically he is a dragon that has the power to move from world to world instantaneously. He is the most powerful telepath in his canon. He can basically break a person's mind within a second if they have like no telepathic defenses, and even then he can probably beat them. He also has no fear, and fear is Sinestro's biggest weapon. He has no fear because he's ultimately one of the most powerful beings within the magic lore, if not the most powerful being. I don't see a situation where Sinestro comes out of this one.
And the only thing you have to fear is fear itself.
That's very true. So why does Sinestro...
Wasn't Fear itself... No, it was a Marvel title, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a Marvel event.
Oh,
yeah. It had to do with Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, why does Sinestro have such a bad sunburn?
It's powerful. It's power.
Yeah.
It's power. But Sinestro is Sinestro, so that pretty much counteracts everything you've just said.
I guess that's true.
Kind of.
All right, moving on to events. We have some photos from last Saturday. This is the Pokemon second chance pre-release that we had last Friday. Once again, how many stores give you a second chance to play in a pre-release? Not many. Definitely, please appreciate us. And then we have some pictures from International Tabletop Day. It was a huge success. We want to say thank you to everybody who came out. We've got Jay Spears there as Bob Ross doing the Bob Ross game. We just had the Rising Sun board game, which I really, really want to play. This is the new Star Wars minigame. What's Legion. Star Wars Legion.
Which
yes.
we didn't misname during our box opening, and
No,
didn't have
did
to
not.
reshoot the whole thing again.
We also had a great raffle for everybody who came out. So once again, thanks for coming out to International Tabletop Day, making it a success for the umpteenth time in a row. We will be having it again next year for sure. And also thank you to the Nerd Herd for helping organize that one. So moving on to this week's events, we have a calendar image of everything we got going on this week. Please go to facebook.com/ForsumComics, click on the event tab for full details on all of these things. Now we're going to highlight some of our big ones, starting off with the Dominaria Sealed League, which started last night. And just like always, you can sign up for the Dominaria Sealed League for $15. You get 3 packs of Dominaria, at which you build a 30-card deck, and you can just play against anyone who's registered in the league at any time. Only rules, you can't play against the same person twice in a row. And when you join, you have to choose either Team Nickelodeon or Team Cartoon Network. And whichever team has the best win average at the end of the league gets extra prizes. Which team would you be on?
Cartoon Network is a solid choice.
Yeah, myself, I would also have to go with Cartoon Network.
I didn't even have to think twice about that.
Nickelodeon had some really, really great shows, particularly Doug and the early seasons of Rugrats.
I didn't have cable as a child, so I had to get like the trickle down onto terrestrial TV.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm also going Cartoon Network here. It's just as a network as a whole, I think it's the better.
I think it's stronger.
Yes, less toy commercials. We also have. We got a standard win-a-box.
Standard win-a-box at Friday Night Magic, which
yes.
is at Friday at 6, and it has a $12.50 entry. I nearly said pound again.
That's fine.
It's the second time I've done that.
That would be fine. It'd be weirder if you said euro, because that's not what you guys use.
Odd. That's
yeah.
Just like pesetas, because it's like obscure money that isn't even used anymore.
We use Zenny. Here at Horsemen. And we also have a couple HeroClix events this week, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the release of Iron Man. We are doing the HeroClix Iron Man event. It's going to be this Wednesday at 6:45, $5 entry, 500-point builds, Golden Age format, and every team must have either a character named Iron Man or Tony Stark. Can you believe it's been 10 years? Tomorrow is the 10th anniversary of this movie. Can you believe that?
It blew my mind when I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, where was I 10 years ago? And I remember being like super pumped. This was the year I was about to go to college.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go see a superhero movie. And my mum was like, you're 18, man. Like, what's going on? But I was like, it's going to be worth it. And it was.
It's Iron Man, Mom.
Iron Man.
Can you remember like a time when a general person would not know who Iron Man was? Because he was a relatively outside of the nerdy world. He was a relatively unknown superhero before that movie.
Well, I knew. I first got in contact with him. I first found out about him with like the '90s Marvel cartoons. Mm-hmm. So I guess he's always been kind of aware for me. But like the one for me was Guardians. Yeah. They're like everybody was super jazzed about Guardians, and I was like, well, what do you know about them? And they're like,
nothing.
I don't know, but it sounds like it's got a good soundtrack.
It does. It really does.
And it worked out.
The only thing I knew about Guardians going in, I hadn't read any of the comics, was they were featured on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon. They guest starred on that one. It's one of my favorites. They guest starred in a few episodes. It was great. But yeah, definitely check that out. And we also have another HeroClix event this Saturday. It's the HeroClix Avengers Infinity pre-release. It's going to be when is this?
This is Saturday at 12 p.m.
Yes, and it has an entry.
In the afternoon, not in the night.
Yeah, it has an entry of $35, and it's going to be 2-pack sealed, and we will be allowing mulligan packs. So if you open up not Steve Rogers and you need to get a new pack to hopefully open Steve Rogers, we can accommodate you with that. Yes. Now we're going to talk about what you've all come here for, Free Comic Book Day. It's this Saturday. We've got all the free comics. You can find them all. Just go to freecomicbookday.com/catalog, and you can view every single book that we're going to have available. But we also have some other special guests going on.
We have Shane Dooley coming in.
Yeah, he's a local artist, comic artist who's trying to break out professionally. You can see some of his artwork featured there. Beautiful Venom and Spider-Man on the right side.
I was really enjoying the detail of that Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can find him on social media at artstation.com/sdooley/profile. Definitely check him out. He's got some cool things going on. Then we also have some cosplayers coming from the Rebel Legion. Have you seen these guys before?
I haven't seen the Rebel Legion ones now.
They're like the good counterpart to the 501st.
I always love the 501st.
They're basically the same.
Soft spot for them.
Yeah, basically the same thing, except for good guy costumes instead of Empire.
Awesome. I'm excited for that.
Yes, so super excited for Free Comic Book Day. Come out this Saturday, giving away free comics starting at 10 o'clock. Do not miss out. But also on Saturday, we are debuting our brand new project, Between the Panels, the Four Horsemen comic book podcast that'll be premiering digitally this Saturday. And we're going to have that on various different formats. You can watch our social media for specific announcements. Definitely be able to find it on YouTube if nowhere else. But just watch. We're going to be doing, it's going to be kind of a book club format where we take a particular graphic novel or story arc and just kind of break it down.
Sounds perfect.
And, yes, and we're starting
I love the choice that we're going with.
Yeah, the Killing Joke. I actually really appreciate that we're doing the Killing Joke because I originally, the first time I read the Killing Joke, I was kind of like, that's it? Like,
no, I loved it.
And then I've read it since. I've read it several more times in preparation for this, and every time I read it, I like it a little bit more. I feel like I'm appreciating it more.
Well, something I really loved about, and I came across that. So I have the hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have seen the hardcover.
I have, yes.
For those of you who have it at home, take the dust cover off and really enjoy like the purple foil inlay. It's beautiful and phenomenal book. But I came across it on accident because I was holding my Killing Joke and it went whoop, straight out the bottom, and I was like, well, that's a whole new Easter egg.
I did the
Definitely
same thing.
check that out.
I did the same thing with the library's copy of it. Yeah. But yeah, check that out. It'll be online this Friday. Watch Facebook for more updates. But now we're going to somebody's favorite segment, This Week in Star Wars, where we're talking about Star Wars Day, which is the most important holiday ever. And it's every May the 4th.
It's my grandfather's birthday.
Wow.
So it is a pretty special day in the Young household.
Wow. This must be what other people feel like when I tell all people that my birthday's on Halloween, and people go, whoa, that's so cool. You must be really happy to have your birthday on Halloween. No, it sucks. But yeah, that's really cool.
Two different girls that had Christmas Day was their birthday, and they hated it with a passion.
Yeah, that's really bad. My son is January 3rd, and that's bad enough.
My sister's January 3rd.
Really?
This is getting weird.
Wow, yeah, we should move on. So Star Wars Day. How do you celebrate Star Wars Day, aside from celebrating your grandfather's birthday?
Just generally reveling. I love Star Wars. I really like Star Wars. It's something I grew up with. I've had lots of special moments with family, with the whole of the Star Wars growing up. So it's a good time to be had by all.
I think we're doing a Last Jedi viewing at my house this Friday.
That's exciting.
And then I'm going to watch it back to back the second time with the commentary once I put the kids to bed. I'm quite the party animal.
Desperately trying to get my wife to watch them through, but I can't. It's like trying to find the original copies and not finding the ones that were fiddled with by George Lucas. So, yeah, it's hard for her.
I have the VHSs.
Oh, that's the dream.
Yeah. I could loan them to you, but I won't.
Yeah, I know. I'd have a VHS player because it's 2018.
I could loan you one, but I won't.
I understand.
Yeah. Also, we're going to talk about a rumor that came out. So the guy who plays Han Solo, I'm still struggling with his name, and I'm not going to say it because if I say it too many times, he may appear. Then I'll have to hear him speak. But anyways, he recently did an interview with, I think it was Empire magazine, where he said, and I quote, "I've been signed for 2 more movies," and this is not confirmed by Disney or Lucasfilm or anybody, but you can go and watch the video where he says it, and then like he immediately flinches and is like, "Oh crap, I probably shouldn't have said that." Now, the first thought there is they're making a Han Solo trilogy, but could also mean that he signed for 2 more movies, not necessarily 2 more Han Solo movies.
Not necessarily 2 more Star Wars movies. They could just be Lucasfilm. He could be the new Indiana Jones.
I
know. We just stumbled on something there. I don't want to talk about it. It's not a good thing.
Indy 5 with Harrison Ford is a confirmed thing is happening.
Yeah,
that's a real thing. Not this guy. What are we gonna do now? Like make a sequel to Air Force One where he plays the president? Like no.
Take my money. Take my money. I'm just thinking of other things that Harrison Ford is in. But
The Fugitive.
Let's just quit while we're ahead.
Regarding Henry.
I like The Fugitive. I mean, not many people can play opposite Tommy Lee Jones.
This is true.
Yeah. All right, I feel like we need to move on.
We do.
All right, so our top 10 this week. Top 10 Star Wars characters that I could beat in a fight.
I'm going to fight you on this one immediately. Salacious Crumb is the single greatest side character ever created in a movie ever.
He's really not. He's really just annoying. I hate Kawaki and monkey lizards.
But it's perfect that he just hangs out and he mocks people. That's like my dream job. It's like Clerks before Clerks.
So, did you know he's actually a stand-up comedian? He's not Jabba's pet. He's a stand-up comedian.
I did not know that. That makes me like him 10 times more.
Yeah, he's there as part of the entertainment.
That's incredible. So he's like, how about airline food?
But I love your pit droids here. That I'm sad I didn't have that on my list because I could tear up some pit droids.
Even as a child, when that pit droid goes to the engine, I'm like, what a waste of engine. Like I was really annoyed by that, and I've realised as an adult now that the pit droids open the door for things like the minions, and I am not a fan. So pit droids, I would fight them.
Well,
all of them.
I do like the minions, but I would still fight the pit droids. All right, moving on to number 9. I had Max Rebo, who just that guy. Like we need the modal nodes. They are the one true Star Wars band. Max Rebo and his gang can just take a hike. I don't know why Jabba even hired them in the first place. Like, I just want to take his big blue trunk and just fling him around the room.
Because the Cantina Band were in too high demands. You never know. They could be on their galactic tour.
That's true. I actually know the answer to that, but I'm not going to do... Well, actually. So, number 9, you had...
Pretty much every Imperial employee ever. Because, come on, man. Like, it's like they say in Clerks. Your personal politics does make, pay a point of the business that you make. You could have done anything, but you chose to be... I know some of them are clones, some of them are, but be responsible for your job choices.
Yeah, don't side with the evil Empire, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. No,
right.
Don't.
For sure. All right, number 8, I had R5-D4, which, if you aren't sure, that is the red astromech from the original that blows up, and Luke is able to take R2-D2 instead. And it's just like... I just want to knock him over. He's just not R2-D2, and R2-D2 is better, and I just want to, destroy his motivation.
I picked Watto because, first of all, he was a bad loser. he seems like a dangerous stereotype.
His mother.
It's the bit when he does that. I mean, admittedly, Qui-Gon Jinn did cheat, but like...
I'm a Toydarian. Jedi magic don't work on me.
Only money.
Only money.
Dangerous stereotype. And just all around not a nice chap.
Stereotype? What are you talking about?
That's where I'm leaving it.
Yeah, we should probably leave that one at the Jedi Temple. And I also had Watto, number 7.
Oh, no. Why did you pick Watto?
It's basically same reasons, because he's just awful, and I don't think he could fly away from me very fast.
Okay, I'm not going to pronounce Alan's surname, but the proliferation of death sticks is problematic enough. We don't need extra people selling it.
And you want to buy some death sticks?
So you need to go home and reevaluate your life.
I need to go home and reevaluate my life and start working at 4 Horsemen Comics.
Never stop.
Never. Almost 5 years. Oh, God. All right, and then I had Owen Lars. I just wanted to beat him up as a child. Like, every time I watch this, I was like, just stop being a jerk to Luke. Just let him go to Tachi Station and pick up some power converters. I know you see too much of his father. It's just even as like a 6-year-old little boy, he's like, oh, this guy frustrates me. And then when you meet him again in Attack of the Clones, like, it wasn't any better. You're like, this guy just like has no soul. He just wants to die in this desert as a moisture farmer.
For sure.
Yeah.
I went with Rose, which I know I feel bad for doing it, but
you're a bad man.
She just irritated me so much. She just kept getting in the way. She kept telling me this is not the way it's done, and I'm like, he's going to do it the way he's going to do it. And I understand why they did it. You need the contrasts. I know why Rian Johnson made that decision, but she just wound me up far too much.
All right, we're not going to have the Rose debate. We're not going to have the Rose Bowl here. So we're just going to move on to number 5. I had gonk droids because I like to prey on weaker things than me.
That is unfair.
And also, I would kill one and take it home and use it to charge my phone.
It's too far. Bib Fortuna, I went with, because as a child, something, I don't know if it was the prosthetics, but there was something about him that made me really unnerved as a child, and it's just sat with me. Every time I see a picture of him, I just feel a bit uncomfortable.
He stands apart from other Twi'leks. Because, like, generally other Twi'leks, they're very sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just creepy and weird.
For sure.
And he's probably number 11 on my list. Because as a kid, he made me uncomfortable. Like, he is one of those people that your mom points out in the grocery store and says, if I turn around and you turn around and I'm not here, don't go near that man. Don't ask him for help. Just stand alone.
I've never been in that situation. It's terrifying.
Maybe my mom was just never mind. All right, number 5, Ben Solo the toddler. I'm reading the new Han Solo book, and it takes place when Ben is 2. So this is a real thing. I didn't make it up. He's a little baby, and Ben Solo is annoying, but I could only beat him up when he's a toddler. But not that I would beat up a toddler. These are people I could beat in a fight, not necessarily that I would beat up. You should probably talk about yours.
Yeah, Everson I went with mainly because of that Robot Chicken sketch. But have you ever had a friend in a bar somehow talk you into a fight?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
100 times. I mean, yeah, no. And how does he know that he's saying, like, he doesn't like you? He could be like, hey, you look tired. Would you like a drink? Come and hang out with us.
Like,
we seem like reasonable chaps.
You look like a nice guy. Did you catch the last pod race?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How's it going, mate? Tough day at work?
Don't you hate those pit droids?
Yeah, those pit droids.
Oh.
Ruining engines.
Yes. And then number 3, I had the mouse droid, continuing the theme of beating up things that are weaker than me. But my only contention here is I might not be able to catch one, so I'd have to set a mouse trap for it.
Nice. I went with Padme, which I know is bad again. This is up there with the Rose one. But
it's worse than
she
Rose.
Needs to cheer up, man.
She has a hard life.
Yeah, but you have all that technology in the world, but no,
she was a queen when she was 14.
Sadness, and she's gonna prey on young. Oh gosh, no.
She only
bad person.
She only had to die of sadness because George Lucas condemned her to death before her character was even written. Yes, they probably still could have come up with a better reason than that, but that's a small blemish on an otherwise perfect movie. Let's move on.
Yes.
Kickster. Do you know who Kickster is?
No, I don't. I wondered about this one when you put it up.
This is Anakin's friend from episode 1. It's a wizard, Annie.
Oh, yeah. I know, I remember that kid.
Don't you want to beat him up?
Oh, I never realised any of this was scripted lines. I thought they were all just sound bites at the time. You never see his mouth move on screen and say
something.
No,
his mouth definitely moves.
Like this, and then you hear like, ha! And then you hear like that generic like child laugh track.
Yep.
That's up there in my mind with like the Wilhelm scream. It's just kids laughing. Like, you hear that a lot in that movie, and it irks me.
I generally disliked Kickster, and I also hated Jake Lloyd when I was a kid, because this movie came out when I was about the same age as Jake Lloyd. And I was like, I could have done that. I could have done that better. But I'm pretty sure...
Was it more you could have done it better, or I could have been him?
I could
be me.
Either or both. I just wanted to be a part of it. But see, I don't think I could fight a young Anakin Skywalker, because he'd still probably run circles around me and then and just beat me. But Kickster, I could take that guy. I'd kick the heck out of him.
I went with Darth Maul because I feel like he's only half the man that I am.
I haven't known you a long time, Lewis, but I'd tend to agree on that one.
Oh, outrage.
Yeah.
Outrage.
Hanging out here at the mall.
Yeah. There it is.
All right. And our number one Star Wars characters that we could beat in a fight, I had Beru Lars.
Why?
As bad as Owen was, she enabled it all.
She's the enabler.
She could have said, Owen, lay off of Luke. Let him go to Taji Station. She should have put her husband in line, and she didn't.
I picked BB-8 because there's just something very irritating about him that I can't put my finger on, and I know how I would beat him as well.
Yeah.
Do the Doctor Who maneuver and climb some stairs, and then mock him from 3 stairs up. And he can do whatever he wants to that little lighter, but and how do we know that lighter was a thumbs up and not
the middle finger?
We don't. Yeah.
We don't. He could have been like, "Screw you, Finn."
Yeah, man.
I don't speak binary. Yeah. I don't know. All right, so those are our top 10 Star Wars characters that we could beat in a fight. Moving on to this week in movies, where we're still talking about last week. It's going to be very difficult to talk about this. So we are going to do this spoiler free.
For my sake, as much as anything else.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't had a chance. I've had a busy week. I know. I feel bad. All my friends have seen it 4 or 5 times already.
I've seen it twice.
Good gosh.
I don't know what I can really say or.
I mean, why not? Just go ahead.
I'm waiting for DVD.
Not even Blu-ray, DVD.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to talk about any specifics, but make this a priority.
Oh no, I'm trying to.
Yeah, like
It's hard to convince the wife though.
go without her.
You didn't hear that. She's probably watching. You didn't hear that.
I'm sure you're lovely. Go without her. It needs to be done. I can't tell you why.
Okay.
In like 12 minutes, there's another showing.
Oh.
All right, we need to wrap this. So we'll talk more about Avengers next week with Ron on the show. We'll make that a thing. Yes. All right, so we have our Four Horsemen mailbag question of the week. So we have 2 Star Wars story films so far, Rogue One and Solo. If you could produce your own blah 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 a Star Wars story, what would it be?
I'm sticking with my answer that I did the last time we had, because we had a very similar theme come up. Do you remember with Battlestar they made the spin-off of Caprica? It was just like everyday life on Caprica. I want that. I want to see people in Star Wars do their weekly shop. I want to see what it's like, the reality. I don't want to see all the fancy fun stuff. I want to see the boring, mundane, every day, having to clean your droid.
Kind of like Matt Fraction's Hawkeye.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. That's fair. I think the obvious answer that most people want to see is Obi-Wan, the in-between years.
There have been a lot of memes about this in the
Yeah.
last week. I've been pretty excited about that.
And-
Or a Boba Fett.
Yeah. But what I would love to see is Darth Bane, who is an Old Republic Sith, and he is the Sith Lord who created the Rule of Two, and he's responsible for dismantling the Sith Empire. He killed all the other Sith, and then he took an apprentice and he started that legacy that Palpatine, eventually made good on by creating the Galactic Empire.
I couldn't help but notice we both didn't pick Palpatine on our list as well.
Palpatine would
too
be a
easy
good
a target.
Yeah, but
also too difficult to fight.
He would be a good choice. I just had other answers. I'm a big fan of Sheev.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we're moving on to our sale. We are running back our sale from last week. Buy one, get one on Marvel back issues. To clarify, back issues are the ones in the big wooden boxes. Everything on the wall is the new comics. So just mention this week of Four Horsemen at the counter, and you will get a BOGO on the Marvel back issues. Now we're going to move on to our social medias, but don't go away. We have a very special post-credit scene featuring Mr. Lewis Young. Ewok?
Something about Ewok.
Oh, I knew we'd forget.
We did.
All right, moving on to social medias. Please like us at facebook.com/4horsemancomics. Follow us on Instagram at 4horsemancomics. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/4horsemancomics gaming. Follow us on Twitter at the number 4horsemancomics. Watch all of our streaming content at twitch.tv/4horsemancomics and shop our TCG inventory at shop.4horsemancomics.com. Oh, I was afraid nobody was going to... Hello, Clarice.
Hello?
Who is this?
Kyle Atkins.
Yes, Kyle, you have won. You have won a full set of free Comic Book Day comics, and you can pick them up as early as this Saturday.
Nice.
All right, what was your last name again, Kyle? Atkins. All right, we are writing that down. Thank you very much for watching, Kyle.
On a napkin.
Thank you very much.
All right, now talk to Lewis.
Hello. You're a winner. Congratulations, champ.
Now hang up on him real hard.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good evening. Bye. You put me on the spot then. I didn't know what to say.
I put you on the spot like 7 times tonight.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we are delaying our six-fingered man scene again because we want Ron wants to be a part of that. So we're putting Lewis on the spot yet again.
Again? Oh,
Last time he was on the show, I made him just read Harry Potter quotes, and this time we're doing Sherlock quotes.
Sherlock.
They're on the screen. Go ahead.
I have a fun fact about Sherlock, but I won't
Go
into
ahead.
it.
No, go ahead.
I just know someone that worked with Andrew Scott that played Moriarty.
Oh, that's
Said he
really
was a
cool.
really nice chap and ended up with half of his wardrobe.
One of my favorite Moriartys.
Yeah, I think it was brilliant.
Yeah, he's really scary. All right, so Sherlock quotes.
Anderson, don't talk aloud. You lower the IQ of the entire street. I'm not a psychopath, Anderson. I'm a high-functioning sociopath. Do your research.
That's my favorite.
That's great.
Sentiment is a chemical defect found on the losing side.
You're so mean.
4 serial suicides, and now a note. It's Christmas. This one's my favourite coming up. I'm in shock. Look, I have a shock blanket. And the last one. Shut up, everybody. Shut up. Don't move. Don't speak. Don't breathe. I'm trying to think, Anderson. Face the other way. You're putting me off.
He's so mean to Anderson, but Anderson's such a jerk.